Caution, this is rated D20 for full frontal nerdity. It contains violence, language, innuendo, wizards, random encounters, and dragons. As such, it is not intended for people under the age of 13. You have been warned. Thank you. Cyberpunk 2077. Is it worth it? This thing exploded onto the gaming scene. First it was all the delays, then the crunch that wasn't supposed to happen, and now a huge fiasco with the older consoles and the glitches. I'm honestly surprised the people at CD Projekt Red are not in a mental health facility. I understand to a degree why they launched it. They had already delayed at least 3 times for fixed bugs and things. Almost everyone was complaining. Big news outlets and major YouTube channels were harping on them about the delays. Even gamers were yelling about, "Where's our game we paid for almost a year ago?" It wasn't a matter of should they launch it, but they had to launch it. Or these same outlets, people, and such would have gone after them like a rabid Wolverine high on angel dust. And remember, most of these outlets will be off onto another topic the next day. They don't really care about the game. They just want to yell and point fingers because it makes them money. Now, as far as my opinion goes, this game is worth the hassle on PC. If you want to play it on console, get the new systems. The older ones just can't handle it. All the problems with PS4 and Xbox One don't seem to like it or is worth the money. The company is offering refunds, but that in and of itself is just a further fustercluck. Now, on to the game review. As far as the game goes, glitches and all, it's actually really fun. To me, at least. It's like Grand Theft Auto and Shadowrun had a love child. There's all kinds of references to other franchises in the game. There's a whole part of a quest that reminds me of Portal. There's weapons galore, from the simple lead pipe all the way up to hard-punching assault rifles and monofilament wire like the one you saw in Johnny Mnemonic. The talent trees allow to build any type of character you want. To build stealth assassins, a cyber hacker, or just simply Leroy Jenkins with a baseball bat. Whatever you want, baby, it's your world. I'll cover more of that later in videos, because I don't really want to make this one an hour long, but the gist of it is, there's a great main story, a dynamic world full of things to do, and a laundry list of side quests to keep you busy for days. But it is marred by immersion-breaking and frustrating glitches. The seeming never-ending scrapping to get the parts you need to upgrade and make new gear, which you need. Then there's the cost versus payoff of quests, There's certain quests early on where you need a whole bunch of money, but basically you start the game in debt. So you're stuck having to make choices about what you have to sell versus what you need to scrap to get the parts you need. On top of that, they touted the huge amount of cars you could get, and yes, there are, but they are all over the place in cost, and they seem to never end. It's a never ending stream of, hey, here's a car you might like, or hey, here's a bike you might like. Almost every hour, it seems, at first at least, as the mob bosses and fixers trying to sell you a new car, which you can't afford because you need to save cash, and each one of them they send you is a quest in and of itself to go get the car, some of which are hundreds of thousands of credits, or eddies as far as they're called in game. And since you can't buy them all yet, they are just sitting there in your journal that you have to scroll through to find quests you're trying to do, which I can imagine is a royal pain in the arse on consoles. Yes, there are tons of quests in the world to do, but unless you want to do only side quests for a couple of weeks in real life to build up the capital to have a safety net of eddies, there needs to be a bigger payoff on these missions, in my personal opinion. Of course, you can forego the main quest and force on and only do side quests, but since it just came out, I want to know what the main story is. And honestly, to think I have to do it 3 times just to get the whole thing from different viewpoints is a daunting task when you really think about it. So, in summary, the game is worth it overall on PC and even the new next gen consoles if you want. But honestly, avoid the game on the older systems unless you are into frustration. The story and the world are dynamic and emotion stirring, but the glitches and the in game grindfest to get gear could have used a bit more time to iron out the balancing. I'm not going to give it a numerical value, but I will give it an enjoyment factor. And between an enjoyment factor of boring to I may just mess my pants, I'll give this game a highly enjoyable rating with a hope of more to come. Now, I will be covering in more detail my impressions of the game in later videos, but for now, that's all the time I have. I hope to see you all again here real soon. You take care of yourself and be safe. Thank you.